Not to bring the mood down.
This is a very difficult, very, very difficult topic, everyone. So just beware. I actually am starting off with this piece or this article. I don't even want to call it a piece or an article. I don't know what to call it. It's just terrible. Tina, this will probably make you upset. Just the way that they just the propaganda. I just wanted
to frame it.
Yeah. So 25 dead after 8 days of protests in Colombia. Oh, these ads. 25 people are dead after 8 days of protest in Colombia over a tax overhaul plan meant to cover a gap in spending related to COVID-19. Among the dead are police and protesters who have been clashing for days as public anger grows over rising poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The unrest was born partially out of mass unemployment triggered by pandemic lockdowns as the country experiences its third surge in coronavirus cases.
Oh, God. Okay, so you're right. I can't take the framing of this article. It's
it gets worse. Although
people are already living in poverty, headed towards poverty. Yes, there's unemployment, but can we really look at the issue? It's the same with the United States. Was COVID the cause of our income inequality, or was it just the thing that ripped the Band-Aid off, the final straw? Of the problems were already there. The choice is how do we address them? I mean, you could do what Europe does and give a UBI to everybody.
Right.
We could start taxing wealthy people. We could start forcing American corporations to pay their share, their actual tax rates, close the loopholes. I mean, my God.
Right. Okay, get ready to get even.
Oh God, it gets worse.
Great. Although the tax plan was rescinded Sunday, it has done little to quell public protests, which have had at times turned violent, resulting in police being attacked, buses being set on fire, and people looting stores.
Holy
With
it sounds like Fox News talking about BLM.
Right. With their violence, they've tried to cut off cities, leaving thousands without work. Colombian President Ivan, what did you say, Duque?
Yeah.
Duque. Colombian President Ivan Duque said about the violent protesters, "Nothing justifies that armed people go out and shoot at defenseless citizens and cruelly attack our police." So that's the part that I am very angry about. There have also been reports of harsh responses by police and government officials. So they're framing it.
I think murdering people is a harsh response. I'm sorry. That's the Hill, shame on you for this nonsense.
They're framing it as if, the same way that they do to Black Lives Matter. They're looting, they're violent. Oh, and the poor police, they're being attacked, and so
just like it is here in the United States, the police are more concerned about protecting private property rights, and also someone saying in the chat, if you tax the wealthy in Colombia too much, they're going to leave. You know what? That's just bunk. How many times have they said that about California? That's what they all say to try to preserve their taxes. We're the wealthy ones. We're the job creators. All of that's bullshit at this point. You're not the job creators. You're not. You know what? And if you leave, fine, good riddance. That would be my response to that. Maybe the workers should create their own co-ops and stop serving a plutonymy that they will never be a part of. The wealthy are the problem.
Yeah.
They suck up and extract more wealth from the rest of the system, and they don't return it. They are leeches at this point. How many yachts does one need? 30 yachts? And then they want to complain about the fact that there's no expendable income. Well, that's on you. If you want people to buy the goods you manufacture because it's necessary for your capitalism to flourish, stop starving them. This isn't difficult.
Preach, Tina. Yes. You're right.
But yes, even in the United States, more than 80% of the new wealth that is being created in this country year after year after year has gone to the 1%. What is that money actually doing? It's sitting there.
Yeah.
It's not circulating throughout the rest of the economy. It's just sitting there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, when is it going to be enough? When there's literally nobody left to sell your widgets to, and then you're not going to care because you've stockpiled so much wealth. Right. You won't have to worry about it, but everybody else is going to have to worry about it. Listen, if you want to save capitalism, knock off the bull. It's your choices are, I'm going to save capitalism by sharing a decent amount of the production with the workers, or you're going to look at a system that you're not going to like at whatsoever that's going to replace it. That's sort of where we're headed, if you ask me. The civil unrest that we're seeing is not going to abate. It's going to increase, and it's going to be far more global than you can imagine.
Exactly. And
we've seen this played out time and time and time again. I don't think people are buying it as much as they used to, which is a good thing. When you see a story like that, question it. Question what's really going on inside that country.
Well, and that's a really good point, because I think that might be one of the reasons why YouTube and friends are cracking down on journalists like us, is because people are starting to question, corporate outlets like The Hill, right, and they want that to stop.
100%.
So The Guardian does a little bit better.
They do. Sometimes they get stuff really right. Sometimes they don't get it right. But generally speaking, I think they do an okay job of covering these sorts of things.
Yeah. So this is a little bit more updated as well. Colombia enters second week of violent unrest as police crack down on protests. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. Why are we not zooming, computer? I don't know why
Also, I want to point out something from these photos. Look at how militarized the police are also in Colombia. So this is, again, this is something we're seeing everywhere. We've seen it all over the world. It's not just the United States that this is happening.
Yeah, that's the true RoboCop look for sure. Look at that.
Yeah, Jesus. Can you imagine? To be honest, I've seen the Beverly Hills Police Department look close to that.
Jeez. Colombia has entered its second
week. I'm not kidding. Remember I did that report for you guys? Do you remember the tank they rolled down Rodeo Drive? I'll never forget that video. I'm like, holy shit.
It's insanity.
Is that a tank? That's a fucking tank on Rodeo Drive. Wow.
Colombia has entered its second week of violent unrest as riot police continued a brutal crackdown on nationwide protests against poverty and inequality exacerbated by the coronavirus pandemic. So this is the updated.
At least that's already more authentic, though, right?
Right.
They're not blaming COVID-19.
Yeah, they're saying
this already existed. It got worse, and the government did nothing to alleviate it. Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah. As many as 37 people have died in the protests so far, according to Temblores. I don't know if that's. I don't know Spanish, so excuse any pronunciation.
Temblores. That was an okay gringo way.
Sorry, forgive me. A local NGO that monitors police violence, though that number is expected to rise, with at least 89 people reported missing since protests began on the 28th of April. And by the way, I don't believe that this mentions it, but there have also been a lot of rapes and there's a lot of horrible things happening. Fresh clashes broke out on Wednesday night in Bogota and other cities across the country as heavily armored police unleashed their arsenal of flashbangs, tear gas, and water cannons on protesters. In the historic center of
water cannons. Are you kidding me with this?
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. In the historic center of the city, a group of students took refuge from volleys of tear gas in the pelting rain. We just want the right to protest peacefully, to feel like we have a future, said Maria Jose Lopez, a student, as a platoon of riot police marched by. We are the majority, but they don't listen to us. Elsewhere, demonstrators held candlelight vigils and painted anti-government slogans on the asphalt as people banged pots and pans from their apartment windows above. Demonstrations began over an unpopular tax reform, but have since grown into outbursts of rage over poverty, human rights abuses, and authorities' heavy-handed response to protests. So then it goes over some of the parts that we've already mentioned. Duque and his ministers have at times appeared more concerned with vandalism and attacks on police stations and toll booths than the rising death toll. His government has yet to acknowledge the police's role in the violence. Yes, clearly. Instead attempting to frame the protests as the work of terrorists from dissident rebel groups. While the presidency has announced plans to hold a new national dialogue, this does not seem likely to offer a path out of the current crisis, wrote Elizabeth Dickinson of International Crisis Group, a think tank, in an analysis published on Thursday morning ahead of more planned marches. The authorities focus on treating the protest movement as a law enforcement problem, and the accumulation of grievances leave little hope for peaceful resolution in the short term. And so protesters talk about, why would they trust the government? And they're used to the lies. So there's also the continuation of the pandemic. So there's a lot going on. And, thankfully, The Guardian did a little bit of a better job there.
A much better job, really. I mean, that Hill article was ridiculous.
It was quite ridiculous.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.